All right, well, welcome everybody. Now is the time. Today is the day. If you find that this message I'm about to share with you and these tips, these insights encouraging, then I encourage you to share the broadcast with others and just click the share button. So what do I mean by now is the time? Well, when I look at, my life and what we're doing in our family and what I know a lot of people in our family and church fellowship right now is the time. It's about execution, not perfection. If God is calling you to do something in the marketplace, in your business, then now is the time, and let this be an encouragement for you. Everything doesn't have to be perfect to start. Everything doesn't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to become great. And if God's calling you to do something and you know that you have a vision or a dream or a business plan, or there's a new level that God's calling you to in your business, now is the time to start executing. So many people get wrapped up in perfection that they get paralyzed in the preparation process and thinking about it and mulling it over, that they never execute. And I have found in our life, in business and in every area, when God's calling you to do something, he's calling you out in faith. You're not going to have all the answers. That's why it's called faith and not fate. If we let fate decide, then, that is a different place where we never act on anything. We just say that fate comes and, if this calamity comes or this trial comes, this challenge comes, that, it must be faith. No, what you're operating in is fate, and you need to stop operating in fate and start activating your faith and start stepping out on the water. And part of that process is really just grabbing hold of what is now. If you're believing for a miracle, you're believing for a breakthrough, don't think about it for the future. Think about it's right now that it's happening. And so I just want to encourage you and call you out to, act now in faith, to believe God now in faith, and then to execute in faith. It's not about perfection, my friends, and so sometimes when you launch something, sometimes when you start something, sometimes when you take something to a new level, it's not perfect. But in the process, it becomes perfected. And as believers, we're being perfected. We're being sanctified on a daily basis. And we're being changed from glory to glory. It's the same thing in what God's calling you to, what God's calling you to increase and to enlarge your tent stakes, that he changes us from glory to glory. And so stop falling for perfection. Stop falling for the lies of the enemy and the lies of the church that says that you need to give your best to God, and therefore you must be perfect in doing it. And that can't be farther from the truth, because the reality is that he calls the imperfect. He calls the least qualified. He calls the people that feel like they're inadequate, and he calls us to do great exploits in the kingdom. And so now is the time. So what does that mean practically? That means, we start executing, we start acting on what God's called us to do. If that means write a book, then write your top 20 questions or statements that you're going to answer in the book. And that's going to take you all of 10 or 20 minutes. And those are just one sentences. Or if it's God's calling you to create a course, then you outline what the course is going to be about. Begin to take steps. If God's calling you to add a new product to your product line, then begin to take the steps to add that new product. What is it that God's calling you to do? Is he calling you to sell your house? Then get the house ready. Stop procrastinating and get your house ready. If you've got to finish the paint or finish the driveway or whatever it might be, don't wait for 2 more weeks. Do it now. He called you to do it now, not later. He called you to do it now. Now is the time, my friends. And why is it that we self-sabotage ourselves? And the reason why is because we listen to the fiery darts of the enemy, and we allow him to creep in because we're not continually washing ourselves with the word and pressing into his presence through praise and worship. And what we've got to begin to do is right now draw a line in the sand and start executing on what God's called us to. Doesn't mean we're going to have all the answers. It definitely doesn't mean that. What it means is we raise our hands and we say yes to God. We say yes to the unknown, and we say yes to the adventure and the supernatural display that God's going to put on as a testimony through your life and what he's doing. That's what we're saying yes to. And so be encouraged today, my friends. I would encourage you, if you haven't gotten a copy of my book, Believer's Guide to the Marketplace, get a copy. You can go to getbeliefbook.com. That's all one word. And get a copy if someone want to drop that in the comments. And start believing God for the impossible. All right. Thank you, my friends. Again, if this was helpful, encouraging, share it with others and let them know. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.